What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at some news. We're going to look at some charts. A lot of bullish stuff going on for the old crypto market today, no doubt about it. So let's start out right here. We're going to get hot. Hit that like button, hit that follow button. We're going to get hot starting out. Grayscale fight for Bitcoin ETF could end in lawsuit against SEC. I was just reading, it was a tweet from Rect Food Farm. It was actually a retweet from Blockworks talking about, check this out, 800,000 U.S. people waiting for Grayscale to convert to an ETF. Accounts just waiting. These are investors. You know what I'm saying? These are investors. So not just regular investors, like they're millionaires. We're talking about 800,000 millionaires, maybe some billionaires in there, waiting for Grayscale to convert to an ETF. And Grayscale is possibly going to even file a lawsuit against SEC trying to get this ETF pushed. There's been so much talk about Bitcoin spot ETF. You know one's coming, you know it's coming, you know it's coming. So this is actually the lightest of the news that's pushing up all this crypto market. Why is it pumping right now? Why is it pumping? We need to know this before you just ape in. We need to know it. So all this stuff, right? I was reading that maybe 2023, I've been hearing that maybe this year. We've been talking about ETFs for literally years, but we got the future ones. We've had it since October 2021. So you know the spot one's coming, all right? So this is pushing. This narrative is gaining traction. On to the next thing. It's been going on for a few days. Russia considering selling oil to friendly nations, Russia-friendly nations, for Bitcoin. Again, I've made some TikToks on this. You see me on TikTok, be sure to check the link in the description. I'm sure it's in there. By the way, hit the like, hit the follow. Let's get at it. So why is this such a big deal? If you don't understand why this is such a big deal, like think about it. So the first known Bitcoin transaction was a guy paid 10,000 Bitcoin for like 2 pizzas from Papa John's. Like that was the first instance that we know of, use case of Bitcoin having value for actual being able to trade it for other things of value, which would be food in that case, which is a commodity. Now, oil is also a commodity. It's the biggest commodity in the world or something like that. It's oil. It's oil. It's oil. It's oil. It's oil. It's oil. 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 It's oil, right? This is something that's got to be paid for. That's the petrodollar is what gives, one of the biggest things that gives the US dollar its supremacy over the world. That it is the main thing accepted in exchange for oil. What oil producing countries accept in exchange for oil literally is a massive part of what is valuable in terms of currency, in terms of money. So if Russia accepts Bitcoin for oil, that literally puts a stake in the ground for Bitcoin, saying, yep, Bitcoin, just another peg up Mount Everest, just locked in, up there, great value, okay? Big deal. And here's another big piece of news. And this is the biggest thing I think is driving all of crypto, is Ethereum 2.0. The Ethereum merge on Google searches has hit an all-time high. All-time high. So what is the merge? In case you don't know what the merge is what a lot of people refer to as ETH 2.0. Now, ETH 2.0 is actually more than just the transition from proof of work to proof of stake, which is where you mine in proof of work and then you don't mine in proof of stake. Proof of stake is a lot more efficient. Not an expert, not a computer engineer, but this is what I've gathered over much research and time, over a lot of time. So when we move into that, right, currently Ethereum is being mined, just like Bitcoin is mined, okay? So when Ethereum gets mined every day, there's about 13,000 Ethereum mined a day. Once the merge happens and we move from proof of work to proof of stake, which again is not the entire ETH 2.0, but it is, I don't know, maybe the most significant part. I don't know if it's going to help gas prices at all or not. But anyways, when we move over there, mining 13,000 Ethereum a day currently. When we move to proof of stake, the merge, we are only going to be able to produce, it's not mining, it's going to come from different ways, but there's only going to be about 1,300 Ethereum that come into creation every day. That's a 90% drop. Have you ever heard of the Bitcoin halvening? The Bitcoin halvening is basically the thing that drives up the bull market. That's when the number of Bitcoin that can be mined a day gets cut in half. The last one was in May 2020. Before May 2020, we could mine 1,800 new Bitcoin a day. After that, 900. So now we're in 900. The next halving is in about March, April 2024. Look what that does to the market. This is Ethereum, and it's going to have basically a triple halving, right? Instead of going down 50%, it's going to go down 90%. And Ethereum, I don't know if there's anything that's in more growing demand than Ethereum, because the Ethereum network, it's used like crazy. So I think that's the main thing driving all this. We see a lot of good things going on in terms of that this may actually be coming into fruition, I think around June, from everything that I'm seeing and what everyone's estimating, because of all kinds of things. Did they mention it in here? Boy, look at that. Look at that search trend go up there, all-time high. And they're showing dotted lines to show where it's probably on its way up to 100. Okay. Another big thing there too, there's just so many things indicating that the merge is going to be happening. Like the kiln, which is kind of their test net, I guess, that has kind of done its final stages. And so ETH 2.0 really is likely to move out. This is on decrypt.co if you want to check out this article. A lot of good stuff on here. Let's dive into some charts, boys and girls. Let's see if the trend will continue. Whoops. Move my face around. Let's see here. Let's see what we can find. This is Bitcoin. This is the old Bitcoin, the old Bitcoin. So I got all kinds of stuff drawn here, right? This is Lever Atlas, the momentum indicator. If you want Lever Atlas, just click the link in the description. You should find your way over to it. Here's the trend lines, these blue line here. We're still well above we've gone really above the trend line now. Now the trend line is actually going to kind of curve a bit. This is pretty wild. This is really wild. This is really bullish. We're crossing through. This is the golden pocket for the big price ranges. So this is extremely hard resistance, but also very good support. And we busted through it. We're staying above it, about 47.5 right here. It's all looking pretty bullish. We are on the 4-hour time frame, and Lever Atlas did print a red dot, but that red dot may disappear because I don't know. Until I start seeing some red candles, I am not sold that we are at a top yet. Could we be? Yeah. But I think that we may not come down far. It's hard for me to see us coming below this golden pocket because we've bursted through it. We're holding above it pretty well. We haven't even gone back below it at all. And I think that right here, about 46,000 is a really strong support. Maybe even, let's see here, what would this be? 46.6 and about 45.5. So I think this zone is a very strong support. That's the old Bitcoin. We're not showing any divergences going on here. We did have a nice one. If you're part of the Lever Atlas community, you get to be part of my VIP group, and we called it all the way back here because what we saw was a really nice bullish divergence coming down into the bottom of this Fibonacci box. So how that works is we have this price low right here, right? Price low before it goes up. One thing important to remember, price moves in waves, up, down, or up, down, up, down, up, down, up, right? Up, down. Price moves in waves. So we want to find these pivot points. So look at this. A low right here correlates to this green dot wave, right? Follow it down to here, right? And now we have this wave over here, which is a much more shallow wave. But what's interesting about that is we made a lower low. So here's a low, here's a lower low. So this wave should be down here lower than this one, but it's not. What that is that's a bullish divergence showing us that momentum is shifting. Plus we came down to this box down here. This was when Russia invaded Ukraine, which also is usually these really nasty things that come out. Those are usually catalyst for a big run up, and that's exactly what happened. We went all the way up here, then we came back down to cool off, made a higher low, and then we took off. But we've been in since back here because lower low, higher momentum shifting up. That's a very clear bullish divergence. We've been in a long I've been in a long ever since here. I guess most of my position got closed out because I rode it up to here and I got stopped somewhere around here. But nonetheless, that was quite a nice gain. And then I got in back around here again because we see, mostly you can't see it here very well, but this little green dot right here, this is what I call a trigger wave. It's not making a lower low, but it's very similar. And this wave is the size difference is just so different. Pop in right here, boom, there we go. Anyways, let's look at Ethereum. So Bitcoin looks to me like it is still wanting to at least hang out up there for a bit. Let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum busted through this trend line like nobody's business. It's still riding along this blue trend line right here. It's also busted above the Fibonacci golden pocket. I've been below this line, but it just looks saucy to me because we were coming up to this trend line and this Fibonacci golden pocket. It was a really high probability trade. So we went here, printed this little trigger wave. Well, not trigger, this is a divergence here. And I've been in this since here on Ethereum. And same thing back here. This is when I was talking about the Bitcoin one where, right, there's a low and a lower low. There's that wave and a higher wave. Price going down, momentum going up, waboom. Same thing happened over here. So I'm in a nice long on Ethereum. I've taken profit along the way. I didn't know what was going to happen. I took profit here. I took profit here. And now I've got about 25% of my position left. I'm going to see what happens. I have a stop loss set right below here at about, I think about 3,060, 3,050, 60, something like that. That's what I think. Those are probably the main things to look at today, because Bitcoin and Ethereum, they obviously drive the market. We got a lot of good news going on. You can just feel the sentiment in the air. People are feeling really bullish, which is a positive thing, but it's also something to be a little bit skeptical about, because whatever the mass market wants to do, typically they'll get dumped down a bit, or if they're dumping too much, they'll get pumped down a bit. But here we've just hit. Like, look, see the dotted line? We crossed, we've officially set a higher high. We've gotten above that, we got above that, we got above that, and now we got above that too. So this is just really bullish. The next one that we really want to get above is right here. We want to get above 34.20. That's the next one, because then, as you see over here, this is the next one to climb above. We've climbed above this one right here. We want to get above this little wick right here, which to me is about 34.20. If we get to about 34.25, we've crossed it for sure. So that's what I really want to see, and I think we can definitely still do that. The highest we've got here is what? 3,400, okay? In terms of true full-on bull run validation to me. That's what I got for you today. Check out the links in the description. Awesome stuff in there. Hit the like, hit the follow, hit the share, hit the things that support the channel. If you want to get involved in Lever Atlas, the link for that's in the description too. Lots of good stuff. VIP group, all that stuff. Stay classy. You're awesome. Go crypto.